Hey, wrestling fans, welcome to the One Wing Wrestling Podcast, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bring you the best matches, world class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Wing Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. My name is Krishna and joining me, as always, is Mr. Bill Cutbush. Bill, how's it going?
It's going. It's raining outside. It's just a second here. Okay, it is raining outside. It is gray. We watched some wrestling. Is there any point anymore in watching any more wrestling for the rest of this year? Are we done? We just put a fork in the podcast and like, okay, well, we've seen the best we could possibly ever see. Should we just move along?
We are going to get to that match that you are talking about. And I will say right off the bat, if today was the end of the year, we would already have seen the best match, right? Today's what? Today's the 4th. Today is January 4th. And we potentially have already seen match of the year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
One thing I have to say is and when we get to that, I'll talk more about it, is I did catch Will Ospreay's press conference afterwards, and I will
Okay, I
talk
have
about
not
that.
seen it.
I will talk about that
Okay.
and why I'm excited.
Okay,
But
good stuff. I look forward to this because this will be news to me. I haven't had time to look at the press conferences
yeah,
yet.
but I haven't
Okay.
seen the Kenny one, but I
Okay.
did watch the Will because it was like a
Right.
couple of minutes.
Well, we may have a chance to watch those before the end of the Dynamite podcast
Yes,
tonight. So maybe we'll get a
correct,
little chance to talk about them at the end of
correct,
that show. We shall see.
correct. But yeah, as if you haven't guessed already, January 4th, we've just watched Wrestle Kingdom 17th, like maybe an hour ago.
Yep.
Still trying to, think about what we witnessed, what we experienced throughout the 5+ hour show.
6 hours and 13 minutes was the clock in time. So good times, good times.
Yeah,
So
it was quite the show, Will.
we have a lot to cover. Shall we? Shall we dive into Wrestle Kingdom 17, which of
Let's do this.
course came to us from the Tokyo Dome, and we had Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton on commentary. For the pre-show, we have the first opening match was an exhibition match between Ryohei Oiwa versus Boltin Oleg. Remember this match, Christian? Remember 6 hours ago when this match happened? I had a hype level of 7 going into this. Krishna had a hype level of 5. I was not aware this was a 3 minute. I didn't realize exhibition
No,
match meant 3 minute time.
neither did I.
So look, this match, Oleg's a powerhouse kind of guy. There were a lot of throws and holds. Oiwa got in a little bit of offense when he went for an armbar, but that was really it. It was a 3 minute time limit draw. I am not even going to rate this match.
Yeah. This match was like 3 minutes. Like you blinked, this match was over, right? And I had said, it almost seemed like the not the young lion, but the other guy, I keep forgetting his name.
Oleg.
Oleg, yeah, he was billed as powerhouse, but I mentioned I'm like, the young lion guy is pretty big himself. And if you're looking for a quick, I hate to use the word amateur wrestling kind of setup. This is the match you're looking for, because these guys were just purely trying to out wrestle each other.
Yep.
Yeah, not much to rate on this. 3 minutes. It went really, really quick. It was fun while it lasted for 3 minutes. And yeah, both these guys got to show that, they're pretty good. So
yeah. Oh, I honestly, I love Ryohei Oiwa. He's one of my favorite young lions. I look forward to great things from him someday. So yeah, maybe he can spend some of his excursion in AEW. You never know. We could get a good tag team partner in a certain Konosuke Takeshita. But anyway,
that's right.
So then we had another pre-show match. It was the New Japan Rambo, which it was a match that was set up for the King of Pro Wrestling 4-way battle that's happening at the show today, actually. So this is, I'm not going to go through every entrant, every elimination. I mean, Hikuleo started the match against Sho. That's all you need to know for the starting pair. This was like Hikuleo and Sho. Then Evil came in. So really, look, guys, we've got House of Torture in the ring to start it off against Hikuleo. Great. But then Ishii came in, and that was kind of fun. Great O'Connors. It was lots of punching, pretty standard Rumble stuff. Rocky Romero actually got the first elimination on Evil, which was great. We did see Ishii eliminated by the United Empire, ganging up on him because we had Jeff Cobb in the match. We had Aaron Henare in the match. Romero and Shane Haste had a great little thing at one point, a little inverted suplex spot and a reversal on a power bomb. But Romero eliminated himself in this match by climbing up to the top rope, and getting shoved off. Because who climbs to the top rope in a rumble?
Exactly.
Seriously. But then the greatest entrant in the match came in. El Phantasmo came to the ring and he opened with the single greatest move in pro wrestling, the Dermis
Destroyer.
Destroyer. And then he eliminated Aaron Hanare with the double nipple twist. El Phantasmo, can you please wrestle more?
He's
I'd
so
like that.
awesome.
Thanks. He also did a Kofi spot where he got shoved off but landed on the railing, and his Bullet Club guys helped him back in the ring, but then he got shoved out again, and that was it for El Phantasmo, who really should have won the whole thing, even
Yep.
though the final four. But anyway, Tai Chi and Kento were in the match too. They were fine, but Sho, Toriano, Shingo Takagi, and Great Khan go on to win the match. The four of them are the finals. They'll be in the four-way today for the King of Pro Wrestling title. In match for me, it was okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was a I hate to use like standard, but it was a standard type of like battle royale kind of match. Over the only thing that was different for me watching this match is that you could still pin your opponent, submit the opponent, and everything like that. So it was kind of weird sometimes where people were breaking up pins, and we even saw like House of what was it? House of Torture. Remember Torture? I think it was them. No, it wasn't House Torture. It was United Empire.
Oh yeah,
They
when Great
broke up their
Khan
own
broke up the
pin.
pin. Yeah. When
And we were like,
Hanare, I think, got the guy pinned.
what? Okay. And even and as El Phantasmo said when he got to the commentary booth, he's like, who knows what's going on? No one knows what's going on here.
Exactly.
Right. But yeah, no, this was a fun match. I mean, for the pre-show, hey, why not? It was a good match to set up the four-way that's today. And yeah, it did its job. It got a lot of the New Japan guys who weren't on the main card to, show up and do something, I guess. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Oh no. You know what? I had fun. It was fine. 2.5 stars is around where I would give it.
Yeah.
My hype level I think was appropriate. But dude, 4 Dermis Destroyers total in this match. 4. El Phantasmo, you are
Oh,
the best.
he's
That's
so
all I have to
awesome.
say.
He's
You
so
need to show
awesome.
up more and wrestle with the elite. I mean, on their same team in AEW. Please.
Yep.
Please.
Yep.
We would love you. Then we have the Antonio Inoki Memorial 6-man tag featuring Toki Makabe, Satoshi Kojima, Yuji Nagata taking on Tatsumi Fujinami, Minoru Suzuki, and Tiger Mask. Suzuki was great in this match. Against Nagata, he had great spots, no selling a bunch of chops. It was pretty good. There was a lot. This was like, how do I want to put it? Slower wrestling with guys who, they're out there because, hey, they love professional wrestling. There's no doubting all 6 of the guys in this ring are just in love with pro wrestling. Okay. These guys are some of the all-time greats that New Japan has ever had. And most of them are nearing the end of their possibility of ever stepping in a wrestling match. So, think of it that way. I really appreciate the fact they put these guys out there. The crowd clearly was into them. It was really nice having the cheering crowd back. You could actually hear noise coming out of the crowd beyond just applause. The end comes though when Makabe pins Tiger Mask after Tiger Mask botched something that I think was supposed to be a roll up of
I
some
don't
kind.
know.
But
I don't know.
I mean, Fujinami then at the end of the match wished the crowd a happy new year,
Mhm.
thanked the crowd for being part of the Antonio Inoki event, and he ends with Inoki's chant, Ichi ni san da. And that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what much to expect from this match once I saw the entrance come out. Um, Suzuki, really showing up everyone on this match, like his speed and just how good he still is. It's just scary. Yeah, Tiger Mask with that botch at the ending looked really. Yeah, it looked bad. It ended the same way. Not much really to say about this match. For a match that was supposed to honor, Antonio Inoki, um, could have been better. But hey, you know what? These guys, we really can't say much. These guys are pretty up there in age, but we will get to a match eventually with some guys who are a lot older and still manage to pull it off, right? So again, props to Suzuki for keeping everyone in it. And yeah, it was this match belonged in the pre-show. That's all I have to say. it
Yeah,
belonged
yeah,
here.
exactly. And I mean, Makabe did okay in this match
Yeah.
too. He had a pretty good showing on the other side. So yeah, kind of Suzuki and Makabe keeping it together. Yuji Nagata slowed down quite a bit. I mean, it's we're not exactly talking about the youngest wrestlers in New
Mhm.
Japan. These guys had their place, they had their day, and it's a nice way to honor by putting these guys in because they were all some of them were contemporaries of Antonio Inoki, and so hey, good stuff. I still wouldn't have given the match more than about 1.5 stars though. But
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Oh yeah.
beside the point. Yeah. So that then takes us to our main show. They do a big entrance video, and then we started off, as always, with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Francesco Akira and TJP catch 2-2, defending against Lio Rush and Yo, who had won the Super Junior Tag League. I was hyped at a 9 coming into this match. Krishna was at an 8. This was a fast paced match. The match opened with you and Rush. Every time I see the word Rush, I think Roosh.
Yep, same.
Yo and Rush landing dives to the floor. Rush followed this with a dive as well, leading to an outside brawl. There was a double team face buster to Rush on the ramp by Catch 2-2 that ended up giving Rush a bloody mask. I mean, he landed hard. There was a bit of a debate for a while between Christian and I whether there was plexiglass over this thing or
Mhm.
not, but a close up later on kind of showed the lights were probably exposed, which means like hitting them must have really hurt. And taking it took out Rush for quite a while, giving Tutu control of the match. You eventually makes you. Oh man, I'm gonna mess those two up constantly too. Yo eventually makes a hot tag to Rush, who you and Roosh. There you go. Yo eventually makes the hot tag to Rush, who crawled back, who had finally crawled back to the ring. Rush just goes nuts on the hot tag, kicks, a rotating kill switch. Which, hey, if you're gonna do a kill switch, why not do a full rotation to the guy before you land the kill switch, right? Superplex then later on from Yo, and the match just falls apart into chaos. Both teams eventually hit their finishers and scored near falls. The end comes when TJP reversed Yo's direct drive, which was the move Yo used to win the tournament, into an inside cradle for 3.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
yeah, the inside cradle was a surprise, right? Like, I mean,
Mhm.
it really did surprise me. I was like, oh my god, he reversed it. I think the right team won. I think the belts stay in New Japan. Like is this makeshift team of Rush and Yo. Um, yeah, they're good. They're really, really good, but they're makeshift, right? They're not an actual tag team, who apparently won the tournament. But yeah, no, it was fast, nonstop. These guys, like, they work so well together. Um, Leo Rush is such a great talent when he's there. Um, right. So
Mhm.
just watching him at his, like, cut open, fighting, like the tag team moves. But the catch 22, they were the better team. And yeah, even though it ended on like a surprise roll up, I should say, the most devastating move in sports in sports entertainment. um I still think it was a great match. I had so much fun with it, and it was a great way to kick off the show.
Right. Exactly. No, I had a lot of fun with this match. I
Mhm.
really enjoyed it. There were a lot of good moves. You're right about Rush and Yo. Like I said at the end of it, I'm like, these guys, I mean, they're good. They're both good wrestlers, but they don't feel like a tag team to me, right? And whereas, I mean, Akira and TJP, Catch 2 they're a team. They function as a team, and man, they're good together. Yeah, I gave this match 3.5 stars. I thought it was a very solid
Nice.
start. It
Okay.
didn't quite live up to my hype. It just slightly under where I hoped it would be, but still a very solid match. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Good stuff. What'd you think of Francesco Akira? I think this is the first time you've seen him, right?
I've never seen him before. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen him. Apparently, as they point out, and as you pointed out, he's very, very young. He seems very talented. Like, as I said, like, I'm watching these double team moves, and him and TJP work so well together, right? Calling TJP the veteran at like 30. I think he's like 35 or whatever he is. But the vets at that age. Yeah, no, he didn't look like a newbie, right? He looked like he belonged there, and having them with the belts makes sense to me. So yeah, no, I think Francesco Akira, he looked. I love how his name is Francesco, as he's Italian. Akira, who knows?
Mhm.
Maybe that's his favorite movie. But yeah, I just thought it was like he was good. He's really good.
Yeah, no, I told you these guys are amazing. I've been
Yeah.
watching them for a while. They're my favorite. They're my favorite tag team in the United Empire. Obviously, they're one of my favorite tag teams in New Japan. They're just great. We followed this up with the IWGP Women's Title match. Kairi defending it against Tam Nakano. My hype level for this was off the charts going in. It was 11 out of 10. Krishna was at an 8. They opened this match with some back and forth wrestling, grappling strikes. Tam got control first, doing her spider crawl counter, which I love. Sometimes she does it as a roll through pin. This time she just shoved her through, and soon after she landed her violet screwdriver finisher, but Kairi actually kicked out of it. Kairi soon came back with a cutlass and an insane elbow off the top to pin Tam in what was to me, very quick match. What'd you think?
Yeah, the match is I like this match. But you're right. I mean, it may have lasted like 6-7 minutes. Like it was fast. It was really fast. Like and they didn't rest these two ladies. So they went at it. They fought. Kairi's insane elbow is probably the best elbow drop I've seen in such a long time. And it kind of as a finisher where you're like, yeah, no one should be getting up from that. Tam is great. Like the first time I've actually seen her wrestle. So these two in the ring were like they were awesome. Like they're really, really good. I thought that there were no botches or anything in this match at all. So yeah, these ladies, I thought they did great. I thought it was a great match.
Yeah, no, it was solid. I just know what these two women can do. And this was just like this is like you went to like a buffet, right?
Mm.
And you went and you're like, you know what, I could get a plate full of food, but I'm just gonna take like 2 or 3 sample spoons from some of the stuff I like. I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna taste some of it. And then I'm done and I'm just gonna leave. Right. I mean, it was such a fast match. I mean, she got to the insane elbow so fast. I'm used to these stardom type matches being
Mm.
so much longer, so
Yeah.
much more hard hitting. Tam can wrestle way better than I saw. I mean, she was good today. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm saying, oh, she didn't wrestle well. It's just, I know she does better. Right. This just almost looked like she was tossed away kind of as a challenger. I mean, first of all, Kairi kicks out of the violet screwdriver. Almost no one kicks out of the violet screwdriver. Right. I mean, and it was just kind of thrown away near the beginning of the match. She hits her with the
Mm-hmm.
violet screwdriver. Okay. I mean, it almost looked to me like they were just like, okay, we got to showcase some of our big moves. Right. And I mean, Mayu Iwatani kicked out of the insane elbow.
Yeah, that's true.
Tam, I guess maybe she's not quite at Mayu's level, but you know, I don't know. I think because I'm so into stardom, I had a very biased opinion of the match. I'll tell you, I didn't hate it. It was fine. It was fine. Not what 3.25 stars for me. It's just not what I look for in these kind of women's matches. I really wish it had been later on the card and given a lot more time, but it was early on the card and given almost no time. So, you know, I guess in that situation, what can you do? And then the lights go out. And Mercedes Monet comes out in crown, weird hair with multicolored leopard spot print on it or something. Had to be a wig, as you pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
Odd outfit and all. Her robe had the Japanese flag on it. She dropped Kairi with what just honestly must have been the deadliest move in pro wrestling. Because I mean, the violet screwdriver didn't keep Kairi down, but this move knocked her out cold. Mercedes then cut a promo, very WWE promo, declared herself the CEO of the women's division and challenged Kairi for Battle in the Valley in San Jose.
Yeah, this promo was just you could tell it didn't go over well with the fans. It was just flat. It wasn't even like an applause or anything like that, right? It just kind of happened, and it's like, okay, sure. Sasha Banks, Mercedes Monet, whatever you want to call her, she's been away for a long time. You have to remember that, right? So sometimes, people forget and stuff like that. The move she kind of hits seemed very odd. I didn't know what happened, which
I
is
know you
I think
turned to
was
me
the
and go,
most
what was that? And I'm
yeah,
like, I'm
yeah,
not sure.
yeah. Which is I think which was I think what confused most people is like how did that knock out Kyrie, right? But anyways, yeah, I just think that it fell flat. Like it didn't get the pop that they thought it was gonna get. And I hope that maybe there are some promos in the future that build up that match. But right now it's kind of like, why is this happening?
I can guarantee you the crowd that was sitting there knew who Tam Nakano was more than they knew who Mercedes
Yeah,
Moné was. Because in
yeah.
Japan, they tend to know the local wrestlers a lot better than they know any North American wrestlers.
Okay, fair
You
enough.
know, that's the impression I get. That's what I've understood from other sources, is that that's the way it kind of works. So they know their local people pretty well, right? Who the heck is this person? You know, I mean, maybe they would have known the name Sasha Banks, but that's not
Yeah,
who this is.
no, someone else.
So, yeah, and she came out looking kind of almost nothing like
Sasha
Sasha
Banks.
Banks,
Yeah, yeah,
which, you know, and just even like the way she was, it seemed really overdone to me. The minute she came out, it's just like you could smell the WWE stink on her, you know? And I'm like, so you're going against Kairi, who is trying to get rid of the same stench. And it's like, do I actually care that you two are having a match? I mean, Krishna, what have I been going on about for like the last bunch of months? Stardom Wrestling,
yeah,
right? I kind of don't care about this match. I don't care about Sasha Banks. I don't care really about Kairi, because to me, she's still a returning WWE wrestler who hasn't proven to me that she's. I mean, she doesn't even have a faction in Stardom.
yeah,
Okay, now there's no one in Stardom without a faction. She doesn't have one, but she's also the IWGP champion. I kind of feel like that's almost like a separate thing. You know, like it's not really part of Stardom. It's just kind of this other belt. And that's fine, Kairi. You can go defend this other belt on New Japan shows because you don't show up at the Stardom house shows and stuff anyway. So that's fine. And we can go have Stardom stuff over here. Because your match with Utami at Stardom Dream Kingdom was great. I loved that match. It was really good. Your match with Mayu Iwatani at Crossover, great. Wonderful match. This match against Tam, not so much.
not so great.
Not enough time, even remotely. And I do not give a flying crap about Mercedes Moné. I'm sure, look, if she draws eyes to Stardom, she gets blah, 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 blah. But it smells like CM Punk 2 to me. Oh, we'll
Yeah,
bring this person in who's really going to hype our stuff. And then they think they're way more important than they really are. I mean, how is Sasha going to feel with the reaction she got? I'm sure that she'll be great with the social media reaction, because all the articles out now are Sasha Banks was at Wrestle Kingdom. Sasha Banks was at
yeah,
Wrestle Kingdom. Sasha Banks, who cares?
yeah.
You know, I mean, I will be very happy waiting for them to put up that Triangle Derby opening round stuff on Stardom in a couple of days, and I'll be like, and we're back into it again. Anyway, I could rant for much longer, but we have a lot to cover. So we move on then to the IWGP tag team titles. FTR defending the belts against YOSHI-HASHI and Hiroki Goto, known as Bishamon, who won the IWGP Tag League. And this was their second year in a row winning the tag league. So you know, they're billed as maybe the best tag team in New Japan. Aussie Open. The match opened with a strike exchange. Cash hit a dive to the floor. This was followed up soon after by the combo I love, the FTR superplex splash combination. Goto soon reversed a big rig attempt and then dropped Dax with a Nushi-Goroshi. FTR halted the comeback, though, with a sudden big rig that forced YOSHI-HASHI to break up the pin. Cash disposed of YOSHI-HASHI with a suplex to the floor soon after. That takes both of them out for a while. Dax tried multiple pile drivers on Goto, but just couldn't lift him up into one. So Goto ends up coming back with a headbutt and tags out. YOSHI-HASHI, though, then gets hit with two pile drivers, and Goto has to break up the pin. But Bishamon starts their comeback shortly after. They clear Cash from the ring, and then the finish comes when they drop Dax with the GYR, their aided neck breaker into a lariat for the pin. What'd you think of the match?
The match was good. No, the match was good. It was really good. I mean, these two tag teams they're really good. I've never seen obviously the New Japan guys before, but I know what FTR is capable
They
of.
fought the Young Bucks on Dynamite once.
Did they really?
Yes,
Oh
they
shit!
did.
I totally missed them. You're right. You're right. Well, so then this match was good. I mean, the Young Bucks
Clearly, it
actually.
was not memorable.
Yeah, yeah. I just I thought the weird part was I knew what the outcome of this was going to be regardless, right? So
Yeah.
it took a little bit away. Like FTR's been on this like downward spiral recently. We knew they were gonna lose, but that didn't take away too much from the match. I mean, the match itself was pretty good. But it wasn't like FTR's best either, right? So again, I have to say the match was good. It wasn't like amazing or anything like that, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, me too. No, it was a solid match. I gave it
Mhm.
3.5 stars.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it was good. The suplex off the apron was hard. There were a lot of good solid moves. There were some cool reversals in it. I mean, both teams wrestled really competently, really well. There was nothing where I went, "Oh my god." But there was a lot of stuff where I went, "That was cool."
Mhm.
So, solid match. I honestly think it's the right result too, because I think that
Yeah.
with Bishamon with the belts, you're actually going to see them defended more. The problem with
Mhm.
FTR having those titles is their main tag titles were nowhere near Japan for like long stretches of time, right? And tag teams are just fighting over like who gets to face FTR,
Yeah.
right? And now at least Bishamon is in Japan where they can actually have matches for the tag titles fairly regularly again, right? So I think that's actually not a bad thing. And I kind of like the FTR storyline. Where is it? Do you think this gets mentioned on Dynamite tonight?
Ooh, I think so. I think it
Yeah.
does. It
Yep.
has to. A
Yeah, I
couple
hope
things are
so.
gonna get mentioned on Dynamite tonight, but yeah, this is one of them.
Yeah. You think? So when you're saying that, you're talking about Carl Anderson and Tama Tonga,
Carlinson
right?
losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But before that, we do have the NJPW World TV title to crown the very first World TV title champion, Ren Narita, the up and comer, just returning from his excursion to the LA dojo, versus Zack Sabre Jr. to determine, like I said, to determine the first champion. These matches are 15 minutes long. It's modeled very much after things like the Stardom High Speed Championship. I was pretty hyped for this match. I mean, Zack Sabre Jr., Ren Narita, both great. Krishna was pretty hyped for this match too. Let's see if it delivered. The match opened with some good mat wrestling until Zack Sabre Jr. took control. Until they get back to their feet. That's kind of where Narita got his offense in, was when they were on their feet. And Zack Sabre Jr. was really the mat wrestling specialist. So when it would go back and forth a bit around that. Zack Sabre Jr. would often take control, though, softening up Narita's arm. Narita was trying to rally constantly, and he did a good job of that. He showed a lot of that fighting spirit, and the crowd was really behind him. You could hear them, which was nice. But the end came, though, when Zack Sabre Jr. finally trapped Narita in an armbar, and Narita tapped almost instantly. It was just a vicious, quick armbar. And Zack Sabre Jr. is your first ever New Japan World TV champion, and soon he'll be, I guess, having to face against Samoa Joe, because Samoa Joe is the Lord of Television,
Yeah,
right?
the
Yeah,
king of television. Exactly.
I
It's
would
like,
give the yeah.
but like this match itself, I would say that you know, it was good. It was a good match. Like I like Zack Sabre Jr. is just so good, and Ren Narita, like I've seen him like a couple times, and yeah, this match, like you're right. When it was like mat wrestling, like Zack Sabre Jr. is on like a Bryan Danielson level, right? So we have to remember that there's a lot. Like I really like the ending of this, because really, who really wins with an arm bar, right? And
Azumi.
this one was vicious. Like this one, when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, did he break this guy's arm? Um, that's why I'm like, when I saw the tap, I'm like, did he really hurt this guy? So I thought these two, they put on a good show. You're right, it was really quick. The match itself was really quick. They were challenging each other at one point, like hit each other, right? They're open taking
Mm,
free shots. But overall, yeah, no, I think these guys did a really good job. I think the right person won this match.
yeah.
And honestly, I can't wait to see Zack Sabre Jr. again. I think he's so good.
Yep, move over Samoa Joe. There is a new Lord of Television. Yeah, no, it's funny too, because we're talking about a television title on a company that doesn't have a TV
Yep.
deal. Anyway, yeah, no, I loved this match. I gave it 4 stars. Really good stuff. Yeah, you asked about winning with the armbar. I think that the people who win with armbars tend to be people who have some training or specialization, like people who
Mhm.
are actually submission specialists, because Zack Sabre Jr. does it. You've seen Bryan Danielson with some of his stuff. He's won with arm bars before too. Azumi in Stardom wins with arm bars, and that's like her thing, right? She
Mhm.
and the arm bar she won with on Dream Queendom, ouch! Like it was just vicious looking. So I mean, if you can get someone who can lock it in and make it look like it's killing the other person, then yeah. And this one looked great. I love that shot. Good call out too to that spot where they were both like he was kneeling in the ring and like
Yeah.
like Ren come on, kick me, right? And
Yeah.
then they did it back and forth. It was so good, so good. No, solid match. Really liked it. And after the match, the Mighty Don't Kneel, TMDK, came to the ring. And Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, they offered Zack Sabre Jr. a spot in their group. I mean, Suzuki Gun's gone. Zack Sabre Jr. is a free agent faction wise. And Zack Sabre Jr., after pretending he's just going to toss the shirt, of course, puts it on, joins Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols. But when they're sitting on the apron, he kind of goes, I'm the leader, right?
Yeah, that was funny. He's like, I'm the leader. Let's just sitting down there. So yeah, no, this good move by Zack Sabre Jr. He's now leading a faction with the mighty don't kneel. That's such a cool name. But yeah, no, I think this is awesome because like we saw those other two guys wrestle earlier in the night, and they were awesome. They were really good, right? So I'm like these three together, that's a pretty good faction they have right there. So I'm glad to see that he has a faction now that he can go to. That being Zack Sabre Jr. And
100%.
lead the faction.
Yes, I'm excited for this because TMDK, like you said, they were in the Rumble. They were great in the Rumble. They had some pretty cool spots. They're one of my favorite tag teams in New Japan. They were totally, get this, wasted and not used by WWE. What a shock. But they did take their leader, Jonah, and re-sign him so he can go be Mrs. Bitch Boy or whatever. Yep. The guy who beats Okada is now the bodyguard of the Miz. That's wonderful. But anyway, hey, that's great. Create an opportunity for a wrestler that Jonah couldn't shine the shoes of. So Zack Sabre Jr. is now the leader of TMDK. And everything is excellent in the world. This brings us to a match Krishna and I both gave a hype rating of 1 to. The never open weight title, Carl Anderson, winner of my worst match of the year award for defending this very same title just a few days ago. Defending the title against Tama Tonga. Before the match even starts, Anderson nailed Tama with the belt and then slammed him against the railing outside, gave him a burner driver on the ramp. Tama countered the gun stun attempt, though, on the ramp. They fought back to the ring. Anderson dominated a good chunk of this match. He hit a nice TKO. He then landed a cutter from the top rope for 2, but Tama reversed another gun stun and managed to get control. He landed 2 splashes from the top, went for a gun stun, but Anderson reversed. They go back and forth trying to land gun stuns. Most dangerous move in wrestling, I guess. And Tama finally hits one from the second rope. He then totally botches the last one, but pins Anderson for the 3.
Yeah, no, I enjoy this match a lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. It was fast. It was fun. Anderson did a really good job throughout this match. Like he most of the time he was dominating, playing that heel role. But we knew that Tama Tonga was gonna win. And again, the right decision. Obviously, this is like a farewell to Anderson almost, right? Mm-hmm. And if it is, great job in the farewell. Like I bid a couple times. I'm like, no way, they're gonna let Carl Anderson win this match. But there were a few times I was like, okay, maybe they might to continue something. Who knows? But overall, they both did a good job. I like Tama Tonga is good, but Carl Anderson was just better throughout the entire match. So yeah, again, I said my hype level was 1, but it far exceeded it. So yeah, this was a good match.
Yeah, you know what? I thought so. I gave it 3.25. Solid match. That stuff on the ramp at the beginning was vicious looking. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. It was one of the best performances I've seen Carl Anderson do in a long time. I actually watched the match and went, hey, this isn't bad stuff. Got a little silly, like the constant gun stun back and forth near the end was a little silly. But hey, and the botch at the end was unfortunate. This would have got 3.5 if it wasn't for that botched gun stun at the end where Anderson still just eats the pin. It's like, yeah, no problem, man, pin me. But I mean, other than that unfortunate little bit at the end, it was solid. I had a good time, like you said, right? It exceeded expectations, and that's a good thing. We then get Keiji Mutoh, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Shota Umino taking on Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, and Bushi. I had a hype level of 8 going into this. You had a 7. This is like it's Keiji Muto's last match in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So this match opened with Sanada. He dropped Mutoh with a series of drop kicks, landed a moonsault. Mutoh bounced back with a shining wizard before going to the top, and it looked like he was going to do his own moonsault, but Tanahashi runs over and begs him not to, so he relents, but that causes him to lose control of the match. Shota was a bit of a star in this match. I mean, Shota Umino was getting quite a bit in against LIJ. It was clearly they used this match too as a way to like demonstrate his talent. He hit a number of really solid moves in this match. The commentators at one point near the end noted that this could be the three musketeers of three generations of New Japan with Mutoh, Tanahashi, and Umino. So they're really putting Umino in high company doing that. The end came when Shota and Tanahashi set up Bushi for a final Shining Wizard for Mutoh. Shota then hit the Death Rider for the 3 count.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like this match. I thought you know, as I said, like the old, I called it the old man match earlier. Like that one, I was like, wow, this like thanks to Suzuki, it worked. Or it was passable, right? It wasn't that good. This match was actually really good, and you're right. It was almost like a passing of the torch over the 3 generations, where it really did spotlight Umino, right? And him getting the pin, getting the Death Rider and stuff like that. I was like, this makes sense, right? As a farewell match and everything like that, this just made sense. For is it Muto? I forget his name.
Yeah, Keiji Muto.
Yeah, Keiji Muto. Yeah. Like he did well too. Like, you know, as much I want to say, like he's played, like he took bumps. He got some moves off. When he was about, like, even I said audibly when he went up for that moonsault, I'm like, don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. And apparently Tanahashi had the same idea. He's like, nope, get down from there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought this match was good. It did what it needed to do. The fans totally enjoyed this match, right? So I thought this match was pretty good.
Yep. And don't forget, he will be, I believe that match is still to come later this month. He'll be tag teaming with Darby Allin and Sting in it's either Noah or DDT.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. In one of his last matches as well. So yeah, you know, he'll be in there again with, you know, a guy who's actually, I think, maybe either just slightly younger than him or around his age.
Oh my God.
And Darby Allin.
Sting. Oh my God, stop it.
Crazy. Anyway, yeah, I enjoyed this match. It was a little bit of comedy in it, which was nice. There was a lot, like, honestly, Keiji Muto hung with these guys really well, even at his age. And what can you say? Naito, Sanada, and Bushi, all 3 of them are so good. And watching them against these guys, I mean, Tanahashi hit a couple really nice moves in this too, man. I mean, his what do you call that? The why am I blanking on it when he does the shake, rattle, and roll type move? But it's just like he does it really fast, and I don't know why I'm blank. I keep wanting to call it shake, rattle, and roll, but that's not the name of it.
Yeah, no, that move was cool. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Move was pretty awesome.
Oh, I can't believe I've suddenly forgotten the name of it. But anyway, yeah, it was great, and yeah, I really like the match. The right guy got the pin, and yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting year for one Shota Umino. They really seem to be pushing him. So I gave this match 3.5 stars. We then get to the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match with Taiji Ishimori defending against Hiromu Takahashi, El Desperado, and Master Wato in a 4-way match. I was pretty hyped for this, hype level 8. You were pretty hyped for it too. Match started fast. Bunch of pin attempts. There was one spot soon after where Ishimori left the ring. He was like, I'm done with you guys. He goes walking up the ring. He's just going to sit there and watch the match. And all 3 of the others then took turns charging at him on the ramp and getting smeared one by one. There was lots of good stuff in this match. Some dives after this. At one point, Wato went for 2 crucifix pins on, I think it was El Desperado. But for some reason on the second, while the ref was counting, he let it go. Yeah. And then he went up to the top rope where he was caught. And then, you know, he got nailed off of it. Shortly after, the Desperado then nails Hiromu with the Pinche Loco. And then when he goes for a second one, though, Hiromu reverses into a time bomb for a near fall. Wato returned to the ring where he tried his crucifix pin a couple more times for 2 counts. But the end came when Wato German suplexed Hiromu. Hiromu reversed the follow-up move into the time bomb for 3. So what'd you think of the match?
This match was actually really good. It was really fun to watch. The Wato guy, he, as you said, like, he was kind of inserted in this match because someone else got injured. And for me, he kind of stole a lot of this match because some of the moves he was doing, like, he was really getting in there with some of the guys as well. I was kind of hoping that El Desperado, I was kind of hoping that he won, but it didn't happen. But I'm not upset about the win though, right? I think either way, this, like, it works. But no, these 4 guys, I can't tell you that I've ever seen them wrestle. But man, they're really good. They all work so well together. Like, was fluid. You're right. The funny part where Wado kind of just gives up the pin. It's like, dude, you just didn't do your move. What the hell, right? And decides like everyone's kind of like, why did you stop? That counts. But no, it was fun. I enjoyed this match.
Yeah, I'm going to chalk that up to rookie mistake. He showed his youth there and like
Yeah.
not trying to finish off the pin, and maybe he would have got it right. Yeah, and he had a bunch of other really solid
Mhm.
moves in this match too. There was a lot going on in this match, and yeah, it was. I gave this match 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I thought all the guys were bang on in this match. The finish was good. Hiromu Takahashi is a good choice for the champion. He came out in that weird eye covered eye stalk thing that made
Yeah.
him look like a backwards beholder or something. But anyway, the yeah, he's a solid choice for the champion. He's going to have some very good matches. You have seen him before. He was also on Dynamite once.
Oh wow. Okay.
Clearly in another very memorable match.
Memorable match. Exactly. It's something I really remembered.
But yeah, no, he's these guys, all 4 of these guys are very good. So
Yeah,
yeah, and it was
definitely.
nice to see them give Master Wado some good stuff because
Mhm.
he's another one of these guys that's like future of New Japan up and coming right now. You ready for this, Krishna?
I think so.
Okay, the next match is the IWGP United States title. Will Ospreay defending against the returning, the best bout machine himself, Mr. Kenny Omega, according to Don Callis, the god of wrestling. But tonight, he may as well have been the demon of wrestling. He
Mm-hmm.
came out in a full-on Sephiroth gear to Sephiroth's music from Final Fantasy VII. It was pretty cool. And then Will Ospreay came out using his other theme, which was also pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
The match started with a ton of aggression from both guys. They traded dives to the floor. Omega shoves Ospreay into the rail early, takes a bit of control, slowing the match down just a little. Omega wrestled full on heel in this match. There was nothing about him that even spoke face. He just started his punishment at this point of Will Ospreay. He took the padding off one turnbuckle. Ospreay fought back, goes for the Oz cutter against the apron, but he missed and crashed to the floor because Kenny grabbed the
Yeah, the
ropes, not
rope.
allowing him to hit it. He hit the apron on the way down. Then Omega pulls a table out from underneath the ring and does his jump off the ropes, stomping through the table onto Ospreay's back. Ospreay then answered Omega with a suplex, though, soon after onto the back of the table. I mean, the
Yeah,
back of the table where the rails are still
I know.
sticking up, and Omega takes that on his back. Ospreay then goes up and hits a stunning dive off the top rope and a flying forearm for 2. He attempts the Oz cutter again, but Omega stopped it. Ospreay lands on his feet then from a top rope suplex before landing the Oz cutter this time for a 2. The match then turned completely. Omega landed a DDT from the top rope to Ospreay on the exposed top turnbuckle. And this sent Ospreay crashing to the floor, his head busted open. I mean, he was wearing a red mask. I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
this may not quite have been Dustin Rhodes level blood, but it was a lot of blood.
Yep.
Omega took complete control of the match at this point, one of the most vicious displays I've ever seen in a
Mm-hmm.
non-death match. He dove to the floor on Ospreay. He put his head through the table with repeated shots, like just took them by the back of his head and just started smashing his head into the table. It looked vicious. I mean, the table was breaking under the impact.
Mm-hmm.
It was just nuts. And the punishment just continued. He hits a pile driver. He kept landing blow after blow to Ospreay. Ospreay managed to mount a couple of reversals, but never for long. Omega sent Ospreay into the exposed top turnbuckle, landed a V trigger into the corner, followed by a German suplex from the top rope, and then a V trigger for 2. The good news is Ospreay just wouldn't stay down. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Omega kept saying to him, stay down, and Ospreay just would not go down for the 3. Ospreay finally reversed a V trigger, mounting a small comeback. He landed a pair of hidden blades and a super Oz cutter, but Omega kicked out of that. Ospreay counters the one-winged angel into a Styles clash, and he hits an amazing hidden blade for a near fall. The end came, though, when Ospreay tried for the Stormbreaker, but Kenny countered it with yet another V trigger. I mean, I don't know how many V triggers Omega hit in this match, but it was a lot. Omega then set Ospreay up for a final V trigger. Ospreay, with his last energy, spits in Omega's face, eats the V trigger, put up for the one-winged angel, and Ospreay goes down for the 3 count. Kenny Omega is the IWGP United States champion.
Wow. Right? Like these two guys just wow. Like if you want to see wrestling perfection, and I know this might not be the Jim Cornette style wrestling, but if you want to see wrestling perfection, these two guys, like Will playing the face, obviously he no, he never left. Everything he said it was correct. He never left. He was there throughout the pandemic. He had to wrestle in front of crowds that had no one, right? Or sorry, they couldn't make any noise and anything that like so the fact that this outsider is coming back after all these years to what to try to save the company. Kenny feeling full on heel. The punishment he gave this guy, oh my goodness, I've never seen Omega be that brutal before. Very well, I shouldn't say before. It's been a very, very long time. Like I think some matches between him and Mox, and I'm not talking about the exploding barbed wire death match, but like other matches have been pretty insane. But you're right. Like from that stomp to the outside, the minute he cut Will open, this match, like I thought, okay, well maybe he's gonna come back. He's gonna be able to fight through all this, and then Kenny gets the win. Like one thing, as I mentioned this as we were watching this match, like everything Will does is just so seamless. He makes everything look so easy. Some of these kicks and these flips, oh my goodness, they're just out of nowhere. And I was like, how these two guys beat the crap out of each other, and they took some serious bumps. Like they should not be wrestling for a while, but we know Kenny Omega is a crazy man, so he's going to wrestle next week, right? This match, best match, obviously match of the night. It's going to take a lot for this match to get top for a while right now. Just saying, like as I said, like if today was the last day of the year, we easily have match of the year, right? And the storyline, it continues now. Will wasn't able to beat Kenny. And just quickly, at his press conference, he sat down, he said, any questions? No one said anything. He's like, okay, I have a question. He's like, what's the point? What's the point of all of this? Why am I doing this? He's like, I tried. I've given everything. He's like, I can't give anything more. And you could feel it. And I'm like, damn, I feel really bad for this guy right now. Yeah. Right. So this is just going to continue. Like you need to go check out that press conference. It's really like, it's 3 minutes he's talking, but he sounds like a battered man. Like he's just broken right now. Right. So you can tell like this story is going to be probably the storyline of the year. Right. And it started January 4th.
Oh, it was my storyline of the year last year.
Yeah. So it's probably going to be the storyline of the year, with the matches of the year probably built into it as well. But this match met and exceeded expectations. I never thought I was going to see a vicious Kenny Omega the way I saw him today. And yeah, this match, man, this was it. This match was Wrestle Kingdom 17.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. We saw some great wrestling before this, but this was just another level. And I mean, you know what's funny? Think of this, okay? First of all, Will Ospreay, like you said, moves are seamless, but who was hitting almost all of the high flying, jumpy moves? Did you see Kenny do almost any of that?
Nope, he was not.
Because Kenny wrestled the most masterful heel performance. Yeah. I have ever seen Kenny Omega make. And I've seen a lot of Kenny Omega matches. I've never seen him wrestle heel to this perfection. From the fact that he came out as Sephiroth. I mean, like, just set the tone right there. I am the bad guy, right? You can't say it any louder. To all of his arrogant promos, right? Just rubbing stuff in Will's face all the way up to it, even causing Will to lose his temper at the press conference and stuff, right? Like, just arrogance dripping off the guy. And the way he wrestled this match, brutal. I'm not just here to win. I'm here to kill this guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach this guy a lesson. And he did. And he was vicious and he was mean and he was unrelenting. And that was the story. That's the point here. This isn't just a wrestling match. This isn't just about the bumps they took or the moves they took. This was everything that I love in my soul about professional wrestling. The story these guys are telling, where we're sitting here going, oh my God, where is this story going to go now? right? Like you just
Mm-hmm.
told me about that press conference. I've got to watch that press conference
Mm-hmm.
now, right? Like Will questioning his existence as a pro wrestler, right? Like, holy crap, right? And I can't wait to see what Omega's like
I know.
just arrogant as hell follow up is to that, right? And where all of this goes. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be the year that we see Will Ospreay slowly try to overcome his demons to reach the end. Now, is he going to take some time off now to heal up a bit because he's had such a hard year? Right? Was this a convenient way to give him that John Moxley needed vacation the guy probably
Mm-hmm.
needs, right? We'll see. Or is he going to be just like Kenny Omega, because he usually is, and be wrestling again in a week, right?
I
So
don't know.
we shall see. But I mean, I'm really interested in where this is going to, what you told me about that just really adds to it, right? Like I can
Mm-hmm.
see that being the outcome. I mean, just the way these guys hit their moves, just on target, insanely amazing. They make everything look like they're just killing each other. The emotion both of them conveyed in the ring, both of them, from both like Kenny Omega and the way he just looked angry and like he's there killing him. And when
Yep.
he sells, Kenny Omega is such a
It's
top-notch seller, and his
so good.
facial expressions are so good. You get the same thing with Will Ospreay, right? Like Ospreay just looking like confused and
Mm-hmm.
dazed after he sold those V triggers like a champ.
Yep.
Right. I mean, just V trigger after V trigger after V trigger after V trigger. I mean, there must have been like half dozen to 10 of them in this match. I'd have to go back and count, but it was just nuts how many V triggers he took. And, but still wouldn't stay down. And just that
No.
look on his face, that look of hatred when he spits on Kenny Omega right before he takes the last V trigger and the one winged angel. Just, I don't know what else you can say about this. I don't know what else anyone could say about this match. This was one of the best wrestling matches I have ever seen in my life,
Yeah.
period. And I've seen a lot of wrestling matches. So, yeah, easily 6 stars, which for me is just off the charts, breaking my chart. Because you know me, when we talk about movies, I say there's no such thing as a perfect movie,
Perfect.
right? No such thing. So, like, I have to give 9.9 out of 10 maximum. Well, I'm going 6 out of 5 on this. And I'm going 6 out of 5, knowing these guys could do even better.
Yep. Yep.
And I cannot wait to see what they put together for the next one, how they
Mm-hmm.
build to it, where they're going with this, right? Just, and also, if Will comes to wrestle Kenny in an AEW ring, Kenny can't play the heel like that.
No.
They're not going to boo him.
No.
You know, he's not going to be that evil. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know where they're going to do it. I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's gonna be amazing.
Yep. Do you know who I really felt sorry for?
The next match.
The next match, Jay White and Kazuchika Okada. I mean, like we were joking in the back, like Jay White's probably going to Okada and going, "We're so toast. We're so dead." So, sadly, they kind of were. They come out and wait. See, the problem is too is that this is like the Antonio Inoki Memorial Wrestle Kingdom. Okada's like right behind him. We kind of knew who's going to win this match too, unlike the previous match. White took control early until Okada hit a DDT, dropped White to the floor with a drop kick. Back in the ring a while later, Okada fought through some chops from White, hitting forearms. I mean, Okada hit a tombstone and a clothesline. He locked on the money clip. I mean, he locked it on a few times and White got out. At one point, White attempted a Blade Runner, but Okada reversed it into a German suplex. When Okada attempted the Rainmaker, White reversed it into a Blade Runner. Okada kicked out of that, though. There was a pair of short arm lariats from White setting up another Blade Runner, but this time Okada reversed into a Rainmaker, but White kicked out. The end came, though, when Okada connected with a Blade Runner of his own. He nailed Jay White with his own move, and then he hits another Rainmaker to win the match and becomes the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion to close Wrestle Kingdom 17. Just as a quick point, that was a quick summary. This match was as long, if not longer, than the Omega Ospreay match.
Yeah, exactly. And you were 100% correct. That was the fastest summary of that match I could have ever assumed that could have been said. And I kind of wish that match kind of was like that, as fast as that summary you gave, because anyone who's listened to our podcast knows I'm not the biggest fan of slow wrestling. And this match was telling a story, but it was telling it very, very slowly. And listen, this match was doomed from the beginning. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay stepped out in that ring. I'm sorry to say that, New Japan. That's just fact, right? It did its best. Like as Bill and I have discussed, Jay White is good on the mic. He's got a good persona. His character's awesome. Well, awesome is good, but his wrestling is very, very WWE, right? And Okada plays that kind of like almost Hulk Hogan-ish face where he's always getting beaten down, and then he fights back, and he fights back hard, and he hits these high moves. You're right, his drop kick is perfect. Like I've seen probably Randy Orton and a couple of people do like drop kicks like that, but like when Okada nails you with a drop kick, it's hits hard. And in his lariats, holy crap. Like I hated the JBL lariats. I always thought they're the stupidest things I've seen in my life. But the way that Okada hits it, like I understand why he didn't hit Adam Cole with that after Adam Cole got, concussed. And thank you, Okada, for not hitting with that. Like that was classy on you. But yeah, this match was good, but it's you can't not just forget what happened like 5 minutes earlier, right? So when you see the slowness, the fact that these guys are just like slowly beat each other down slowly, and if you could see like a lot of moves, as you said, this was reversed, the same moves being reversed over and over and over again. You're kind of like, okay, I've seen this, it kind of works, it kind of doesn't, but at the end of the day, the right person won this match. Like this, Okada winning the match is great because it might, help another storyline that we've been talking about earlier. But this is great. This is actually great. So I'm happy with the win. The match, again, not my style of match. I thought it was way too slow.
Yeah.
But I can tell if other people liked it, I could be like, okay, I understand. Because as you said, the Japanese fans there were there to see the Japanese wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
So they were there to see Okada. Okada's like one of is if not the highest wrestler that they like right now. So
Right.
so if they saw their guy win and that's what they wanted, then they got what they needed. For me, it was just an average match. I wasn't really like super like excited or anything like that. But if other people liked it, great. But I just thought there was no way to follow up the previous match. So
Right. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I found it slow. I found it very slow. I found it slow even for like a standard New Japan match or something like that, right? I just found it slow. I commented a couple times, it felt like a WWE style match to me, right? Like
yeah.
beat down, break, beat down, break. And I know Okada sometimes has slower starts to his match, but man, did it feel slow after watching that match before, right? It just felt, oh my God, I felt like we were wrestling in sludge now or something,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Okada is so good. He's just so good. His matches are so good. He's got the charisma, he's got the presence. And I'll give that to Jay White too. He's got charisma, he's got presence, right? But you put these two guys together, both of them with these slightly slower styles, and it was that was my impression match. It was a bunch of
Same.
To quote one of my least favorite wrestlers of all time, this match was rather mid.
Your favorite wrestler.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I would give this 3.25 stars. There were a lot of matches on this show that I liked a lot better. But you're right, the right guy won. Okada wins. And hey, I'll get into my fantasy booking for a minute because who doesn't love fantasy booking? Let's
I love
suppose
fantasy
now
booking.
that Ospreay needs to overcome his demons, and he's got two demons. One of them is named Kazuchika Okada, the other one is named Kenny Omega. So maybe he can go after Okada now for that belt after Okada disposes of Shingo Takagi on February the 1st in a parking lot. We'll get to that in a
minute. Where's everyone? Why no one here?
Why is nobody here? I don't understand. So yeah, but I think that Ospreay is going to end up challenging Okada for that belt at some point. And I would say maybe by fall he gets that title. And the minute he wins that title, Omega's there in his face again. Oh, you beat Okada. Congratulations. I'm still here.
Yep.
Right. And, sure, they're going to have some run ins. They're going to have some back and forths. They're going to have some whatevers. Right. And And maybe an encounter of some kind, a trios match at, say, Forbidden Door or something like that, where these guys can kind of keep their rivalry going. Um, but then next year's Wrestle Kingdom, mark my words, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, main eventing the show rightfully, with Will Ospreay coming out on top to hold the belt and finally beating Kenny Omega. And I'm going to call it right here. He kicks out of the One Winged Angel.
Oh, okay. It's a bold statement to make there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. That's actually a pretty good storyline. So I think that's really good. I think so. What would happen if Will Ospreay, you're right, is taking some time off now? Let's say he does take some time off or whatever happens. Down the line, Mr. Belt Collector himself challenges a certain Kazuchika Okada, right? Let's say that Belt Collector beats Okada. He now has he has the TV title and he has the IWGP title. And he's like, no one's as good as me. Like, that's it. There's nobody else to challenge me, right? And then we have a returning Will Ospreay. And Will Ospreay does challenge him. Will Ospreay works his way back because Kenny can say, why should I challenge you? You've won nothing when it comes to me, right? So Will Ospreay climbs that hill, finally, as you said, gets back to Wrestle Kingdom next year.
Ooh, wins the G1.
When is the G1? Yeah, exactly. There you go. And then he wins the G1, challenges Omega, and beats Omega for that belt. So either way, I think we're both going on the same path here as Omega eventually gets that belt and then challenges.
And I think to do that, his final opponent, the G1, needs to be Kazuchika Okada.
Yes. And
so he has
Okada.
to beat Okada in the finals. I like your story better. Because it means he has to climb a giant hill to get there. He has to turn himself into a superstar, and he still beats both of the guys that are problematic, right?
Yep.
So I think that would be excellent. And then Will Ospreay is seen as the savior for capturing the title back from Kenny Omega, the guy who thinks he's like, the savior of New Japan, but is too arrogant to really be the savior of New Japan.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that is a really good story. I like that. So I'm going to go with your scenario. I like it better. So, so there we go. That's what's happening. You heard it right here, people. The Will Ospreay is going to win the G1, and he's going to challenge Kenny Omega, who at some point will beat Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, or whoever beats Okada for the championship. Who knows? But anyway, at the G1,
maybe Forbidden Door, Okada puts it up title, as you said, title for title, right?
Title for title. Oh, but that means Kenny's got to win that belt off of Loser Boy.
Yeah, but maybe Okada wants the New Japan belt back in Japan, right? And challenges Kenny for that. So who knows?
Yeah. Right? That's not bad.
Right. So we'll see. We'll see.
So then Kenny ends up with both of the belts. And because he's the belt collector. And that just makes sense. Yes. Right. And he also has the trios title at that point too. So then he's walking around with all three belts. Yeah, okay. Then belt collector is back. I love it. That just, and it makes for so many good Kenny Omega promos. Right. Because I mean, like I said to you yesterday when we were talking about the press conferences before Wrestle Kingdom, Kenny Omega plays like the cool movie bad guy villain in this really well, right? And Will Ospreay plays like the real life hothead Englishman who's just, and he's so good at that too.
Wait till you see the press conference. We'll talk about it in our next show for our Dynamite review and stuff like that.
Yep.
Wait till you see it. Like, I actually felt for Will Ospreay in this press conference.
Yeah, because we'll be able to watch Kenny Omega's response to it at that point. So yes, okay, cool beans. So that about. Oh wait, I should point out before everyone's confused about the February 1st, Shingo Takagi came out afterwards and he challenged Okada. There was some confusion when Chris Charlton was translating what Shingo Takagi said for us English listeners, English speaking listeners. It sounded like he said he was challenging him for February 1st, but there is no New Japan event on February 1st. So that's why we're joking about it being in a parking lot because, if he's going to fight him on February 1st, maybe it's just like out back at the Tokyo Dome, meet you there. But I think what he really meant was February 17th, which is their next pay-per-view. So
Makes sense.
Shingo Takagi is Okada's next challenger and will be disposed of quite handily by Okada, I'm sure. That doesn't sound like a serious threat to me. I really don't think that Shingo Takagi will be winning the title. Anyway, Okada then thanks the fans for their support, the 50th anniversary of New Japan, which just passed. And he says, thank you. It's great to see so many people. He hopes Inoki was proud of them tonight. As long as you support us, we'll keep fighting for you. And I will keep being the champ. And that was the end of the night. It was a good closing for the show, though, right? So yeah, I mean, send the fans home happy, right guy won, etc., etc. So that was Wrestle Kingdom 17. Pretty damn solid show with what might be match of the year.
Hey, definitely Omega level, that match, like Omega or Ospreay level, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
that match rocked. And it's
100%.
going to be very hard for other matches to challenge that coming forward.
That's true.
Going forward.
And tonight we've got AEW Dynamite. So why don't we
and improved AEW Dynamite?
Exactly. So we will be back with a second show later tonight. And yeah, so but for now, I think it's very fitting that we close as the belt collector himself, the god of pro wrestling, always says.
Wait, one second. Do you mind, Bill, if I close out the show just for
you go right ahead, sir.
Now I haven't closed out the show, everyone. So listening. So if I mess this up, please go easy on me. All right. But this one I will direct to our Billy Boy, young Will Ospreay. I must bid you adieu. Goodbye. Mwah! And good night. Bang!